Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Coach's Corner. Woohoo! Today is
Hi,
a very
everyone.
special episode. Hey, we have a really special guest today. We have Sam from The Blind Life. A lot of you know Sam from his social media presence. He has a lot of really great videos on his YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked that out, please go to his YouTube channel at The Blind Life. Right, Sam, you want to give them the exact place to go, or did I do it?
Sure, yeah. Hello, everyone. First of all, it's if you're on YouTube, it's youtube.com/theblindlife. On most other social media, it's at the Blind Life Sam.
Awesome, thanks, Sam. And then we are also joined by Maico, former coach Maico. Some of you out there who are IrisVision customers may have had Maico as your coach at one point. So Maico, hey.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me back. And real quick, before we get started, I just want to say, make sure you hit that like button and share the video, please.
Yeah,
Nice.
for sure.
And hello to all my former clients. How you guys doing?
There you go. So yes, please, if you're not following IrisVision, please subscribe to our channel. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook and LinkedIn. Look us up, hit the like button, follow us, subscribe. If you have any questions for me, if you're an IrisVision user, you have any questions for me, please put your questions and comments below. Someone from IrisVision will get back to you. If you're not a current user of IrisVision, but you're very interested in getting to know a little bit more about it, please feel free to call in to our sales line at 855-207-6665. There are two options, one option for sales, second option for customer support. One of our sales reps will be more than happy to walk you through a questionnaire and see if you're a good fit for IrisVision. We do have two products. We have IrisVision Live and IrisVision Inspire, and one of the awesome sales reps will be able to help you determine which device is a better fit for you in your current situation. So again, that number is 855-207-6665, option 1 for sales. If you're a current user and you have any kind of questions regarding any tech issues or any refreshers that you need on anything that's happening with your IrisVision, you can always press 2. One of our awesome customer support reps will be able to help you out. Of course, if you need a little refresher on coaching, same thing, call 855-207-6665, press 2, and one of our support reps will help you get set up with myself or one of the other coaches. So today, we're just going to hang out. We're just going to chat a little bit about blindness. Sam, we're going to get to know you a little bit more, as if people don't really know much about you. I've seen some of your videos. Michael, we're going to chat with you and see what you've been up to since your new journey after IrisVision. So really excited about that. So let's go ahead and get started. So Sam, you have a really cool series on your channel right now called Working Blind. Tell us what inspired you to go that route with Working Blind.
Yeah, sure. So I launched that series in December of last year, and I put out a video every other day in December. And those videos were interviews with amazing VIPs in the community who are working in the hopes to inspire people, people watching. And that's really where the idea came from. Is over the years, I'm sure you guys can relate to this. Over the years, I've been asked so many times, what kind of jobs can blind people do? It's usually that. It's also like kind of a similar question. What classes should a blind person take in college? And my answer to both of those questions is like, I don't know, whatever you want to do. It's like, right. What are your interests? What are your skills? The blindness really shouldn't come too much into play. It really should be, what do you want to do? And then once you decide that, you figure out how to adapt the job to work around the vision loss. But so I thought, I should actually, first of all, I got to give credit. The original idea was from my wife, Rachel, who, if you've watched my channel, you guys know Rachel. she's the one that came up with it, and she's like, you should just do interviews with blind people who are working and find out, what they're doing, how they got the job, the process of interviewing, what kind of accommodations they require to do the job, that sort of thing. And so so we put out like 13 or 14 videos in December, and the response was overwhelmingly positive. Everybody seems to have loved them, and we're going to keep on going. I put out 1 or 2, I think, so far this month, and so we'll keep it going.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
those are huge. I really enjoyed that series. That's
Good.
one of the things that I think is lost out there, is that if just because you do have a visual impairment or any sort of disability, sure, there are certain things you can do, right? You can't be like an Army sniper, I suppose, but there are a lot of resources and services and tools and accommodations that exist out there. And really all you have to do is find them and access them and use them, because they're out there. And you can do whatever you want. You could be a software engineer, you could work in, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. It's just a matter of like, okay, how are you going to get there? And all those services and tools and resources, they exist.
Right. And then the question is, does it make sense for my current situation? Right. And I was going to say that's a perfect lead into what Maico is doing now, that you started your new journey after IrisVision.
Yes.
Tell us what kind of led you down that path, and I'll let you elaborate more on your path, because I like the way you tell it.
Yeah, so that's something that I experienced back in 2019 when I had my vision loss. Like up until that point, I mean, 39 years of leading a, and I use air quotes, a normal life. I was in IT. I worked a very, a very, very good job in IT, and I was doing really well for myself. And then I found myself having to just start over, and not knowing where to even begin. So it started going to the VA, the Center for the Blind, talking to my primary care, and rebuilding. I approached it almost from like an engineering standpoint, where you have a problem, how are you going to solve it, right? There's a canyon, how are you going to get across? Instead of just looking at it and saying, well, I'm done, and in that journey, I ran into a lot of, caseworkers, counselors, people that helped me out along the way. And IrisVision is on that list of like people that are out there doing it. And eventually I got referred to the the rehabilitation counseling program at San Diego State. So I'm working towards getting my master's in helping people with disabilities, and not just helping people in sort of getting their lives together, their work life, their personal life, but also advocating and teaching people how to advocate for themselves. And it's been an amazing experience, and I'm really enjoying it. And and that was a sort of the transition from, what do I do? Finding a community of people that are out there doing the thing, and then wanting to join them and helping out and giving back. So I'm currently working on my master's program, and the emphasis that I'm taking, the track that I'm taking, is on assistive technology. So I'm merging my previous experience with, the current experience. So helping people to use AT, whether it's low tech or high tech.
And that's awesome,
awesome.
Sam, because that's exactly what you do, right?
Yeah. Well, kind of. I'm not as brainy as that. So congratulations on that, man. That's pretty awesome.
No, what you're doing is it. The video, for example, you have on your accessible home. That's it. That's what you have to, you know what I mean? It's, of course, everybody is different, right? Everybody has their own personal settings, but I was watching your video on your accessible home, and I'm like, yeah, that's what we did. We put LEDs under our counters, bumped outs on everything, the lights, the night lights, in every other room and hallways and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is the thing that, like, like simple things like that. It doesn't have to be high tech. It could be something as simple as that. It's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's one thing I've, working as an AT trainer at a low vision center for like the last 7 years now, has taught me that everybody is different, and we all oftentimes need individualized solutions. But there are things, sorry, put my phone on vibrate. There are certain things that are universal, that help a lot of people. like
Yes.
lighting, tactile elements, organization, creating systems. So those are things that, I make videos about just to kind of introduce those concepts to people, because a lot of people are new to vision loss, like you were in 2019. So they might not be aware of these things, which is perfectly normal or perfectly understandable. You're not living in that world until you're in that world. Um, so hopefully people will get some good stuff from my videos. And in fact, speaking of the Accessible House series, I've got a whole series around that topic. I just had a call this morning with a gentleman who's made an accessible clothes hanger.
Okay.
It kind of sounds silly, but I got excited. He sent me an email and he's like, it's like the world's smartest clothes hanger, and he thinks it'd be really good for the visually impaired community. And did a little research on it. I'm like, yeah, totally, it does. It looks like it would help a little bit of the frustrations of trying to find a hanger in the closet for us. So you guys can expect a video on that in the near future.
Oh,
Very cool. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so funny because a lot of sighted people don't really think about these little things, the hangers, the bump dots, like setting the oven, the microwave, those little things, going grocery shopping. So I don't know how you guys do it, and especially because Sam, you and I have been, in this world for quite some time, most of our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Michael, you're just coming into it. So just shopping, what I tend to do is, if I'm not using like a magnifier, or from time to time I'll use my IrisVision, I'm looking for logos because I memorize logos, okay, when I go to the grocery store. So if I need to run to the grocery store and just grab something, I know what it is. And people will look at me sometimes and be like, what's wrong with this girl? If I ask for help, because it doesn't look like I need help, because I'm just dashing around the store and I know where everything is, as long as they don't move it, which they love
Oh
to.
yeah.
They love to move things around.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for those logos. What do you guys do?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, I'm looking for colors. I'm looking for logo shapes. If I need Apple Jacks cereal, I'm looking for a big green box.
Right.
If I need Frosted Flakes, I'm looking for a blue box. It's that helps me initially, and then I can kind of, if just by chance there's multiple blue boxes in the same area, yeah, then I can go for, okay, I know there's a big orange and black striped tiger on the cover
Right.
of one of those boxes, so let me look for that.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a creature of habit, so I make sure to shop at the same store, because I know that I understand the layout and I could picture in my mind the different aisles, and where the produce and the bread and the freezers, and how it progresses as you walk down the grocery store. So I have that, so I can get into the vicinity of which aisle I need to get into. And then once I'm in that aisle, then I do the thing that you guys just mentioned, is I think, okay, well, that the brand names are sort of at eye level, right? Because that's where the big sellers are. And then you have the healthy stuff up high. So, and then the no name brands or the off brands down below. And if I really need to find something, I do use my cane. You get a lot more help with people if the employees, for example.
Oh yeah.
If you approach them and ask them where a certain thing is, typically they will help you out. They're more willing to help out. Not to say that they wouldn't, but they'll put down what they're doing, and then they'll walk me to wherever I need. So, and I'm not afraid to ask for help. Absolutely, I'll clack over to an employee and just knock them on the ankles and say, hey, where are the breadcrumbs?
Well, speaking of cane, using the cane, now, do you guys use your cane all the time? Sam, I know you do talk about using your cane. Do you use it always, or sometimes?
I'm a most of the time cane user nowadays, strictly for what Michael was talking about right there, identification. People are much more willing to help me if I'm holding my cane. I generally, unless it's like nighttime, I generally don't need it for navigation.
Right.
It's more for those situations. And if I think the rare times that we pull up the store and I'm like, I'm just going to run in, or what happens most of the time is I'm going to go pick up our food. Like we may place an order and I'm just going to run in and pick up the food. I don't need my cane. Those are the times that I regret not taking the cane, because inevitably I go in there and they're like, yeah, all the deliveries are right over there, or all the takeouts right over there on the shelf. You just got to find your
Never
name.
fails.
Like, I should have brought my
Never
cane.
fails, dude.
Yeah.
I do take my cane. I use it pretty much all the time. If I leave a cane, so the people that I get rides with, right, my girlfriend, my mom, if I'm ever in a car, I'll leave a cane in there because I have so many canes. I leave one in the passenger seat tucked into the side. And it's when I get into someone else's car and I forget to walk out with the cane that I keep on me, that's when I get a little anxious, actually, because I don't have my cane. And I've gotten to that point. But yeah, it's not just the it's also grace, right? It's not just the identity, but give me a little grace, give me a little time. I need to, just really work on processing this payment that I'm trying to get you, or find my, it helps people be patient with you, and I need that.
Right. I have a funny story. You talked about payments, making payments. So one of the times I went to California to visit the corporate office, one of my friends and I went out for dinner, and I was like, I got this, I'm going to pay, right? And it was a dark restaurant. It wasn't lit very well. And she wanted to help me, but I'm like, no, of course, you know how that goes, guys. So I got this, I can do this. And I gave the card over to the waiter. He comes back and he's like, after a while too, he comes back and says, I'm sorry, ma'am, I ran this card like 3-4 times and we just don't take this type of card.
There's a Costco card?
My friend says, let me see the card. And it was my national parks pass. It was like, I'm like, so what's funnier, like me getting my national parks card and trying to pay the bill with that, or the guy that actually tried to run it 3 times?
Right? Oh, they're gonna flag it for fraud now.
You get all indignant. Let me speak to the manager.
Yes,
I am a card-carrying member of the National Park Society.
Yeah, this is accepted everywhere.
like Visa and MasterCard. How dare
That's
you?
Hilarious. Yeah.
I mean, those things happen, right? Because at the same time, I don't know how you guys are, but I like to be as independent as possible. But sometimes we might need a little bit of help, and it's okay to ask. I think, Sam, you were saying something about it's okay to ask, and a lot of your videos, and Michael, you always say that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to ask. Yeah, okay, it was a dimly lit room. I have Stargards. I wasn't going to see the card, probably, and of course I could feel it usually, but nowadays, these bank cards are all smooth. They used to have the raised numbers on them, right? And now they're all smooth, most of them. So at least mine is. I don't know about you guys, but my bank card is smooth. It doesn't have that raised feel to it anymore. That's how I used to find it, because it had the raised feel. So little things like that. Going to the ice cream shop and like, oh my gosh, God forbid you go to those that have like all the different flavors. What do you do? Like, I want to know all the flavors.
Tell them to describe all 31 flavors to you, please.
I need to taste every one.
I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in other videos, but I have no olfactory either, so I have no sense of taste or smell. So you will have to please describe the flavor to me so that I can picture it in my mind's eye.
Describe it slowly.
Slowly, please, and make it rhyme.
As much detail as possible.
Yes.
Did you say make it rhyme?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. An extra 20 in it for you if you can make it rhyme.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm not afraid to ask for assistance. And now, after being in my program and meeting people with other disabilities or impairments, right, not just visual, I get the sense of like, yeah, we need to be more understanding and patient with others, people with hearing loss, Their issue is that they'll be somewhere and someone's talking to them and they think that they're being ignored. So they'll be grabbed, by the shoulder and spun around and say, "Hey, I'm sorry." And it's like, "Oh, I have a hearing impairment." So,
Right.
the different disabilities, that everybody experiences, different issues, different barriers, different problems. And it's like, it's okay to let people know, like, hey, I have a visual, or I have an invisible, disability or an invisible impairment. Could you please help? And, the cane and stuff helps with that.
Mhm.
Right. I need to get better at using mine, because I'll confess I don't always really use my cane. I have one and it's an
Oh,
identification cane. But I don't really use it that often. And so I know that there's others like me out there too that
Yep.
maybe are like, oh, so we have a little bit of everything here. We have you guys who are like, yes, use your cane.
Yeah.
You have me who's like, I want to use my cane, but sometimes if I need to use it to cross the street or something, for example, I don't know. And you guys tell me what you think. I feel bad because I don't really need it. Like you said, Sam, I don't really need it to navigate during the
mhm.
day because I can see. But to cross the road, I can't see if traffic is coming. So that's when, my mom, she pushes me to use my cane um, to cross the street.
I
But I feel bad folding it up, putting it away, and then
thought
continuing
you were
on.
going to say she pushes you into the street.
Well,
No,
I mean, you know,
no.
Tough love.
Yeah.
pushed me out of the nest. She's like, go.
That's funny. No, I get it. In fact, I did a whole video. I made a video called "Pretending to Be More Blind Than We Are," and it was talking about whenever I travel, I love using the cane through airports and stuff because for identification. But at the same time, we get the benefit of being able to jump through security and all of that. But then I feel guilty going through security, like jumping the line when everybody's waiting in line and they're looking at me. I feel like I need to tap the cane a little bit harder, just to kind of live up to the expectation of the blind person. And a lot of people agreed with that. They totally resonated with that video because, yeah, it's the same thing. You feel like if I'm going to be a cane user, I need to be a full-time cane user because that's what people expect. And if they see me not doing that, then they're going to think I'm faking. They're going to,
Yep.
have some kind of negative view towards me. But I tell people all the time, I said, the cane is a tool. Bottom line, it's a tool for you to use however you need to use
Mhm.
it. And if you only need it for crossing to make yourself more visible to traffic, that's a legitimate reason to use a cane. And once you get to the other side, if you don't need it to continue walking down the sidewalk, it's totally cool to put it away. It's fine. It's,
Mhm.
some people might
Agree.
think something, but at the same time, who cares? Who
Well,
cares what
Yeah.
they think?
I can't see them anyway, so whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
People are
yeah. And
gonna
that's and
think
that's
what they think. Mhm.
that's a common thing I hear with devices like IrisVision. People say, well, I wouldn't want to wear something like that out in public and something big and bulky. What are people going to think?
Mhm.
And 100% my response is, who cares what people think? If I'm going
Yeah.
to a football game, I spent money on a ticket for a football game. I want to enjoy that football game. I don't care what these strangers sitting around me think of me. I'm never going to see those people again in my life. And at the very least, it could be a conversation starter. Somebody's like, oh, what's that? And then you can
It is.
start to advocate for yourself and your community
Yep.
by that way.
That's been my experience. I took mine to the San Diego Zoo, and every tap on the shoulder I got was, "Hey, where did you get those? Do they have those at the front? Can you see 4D in those? Are those virtual glasses?" And I'm like, "No, man, I'm visually impaired." And they're like, "Oh, so do they have those out front at the gate or what?" And I'm like, "No," but everything was curiosity and mostly positive. I guess you don't hear the snickers, but I don't really care about
Yeah.
those,
Oh,
and I
Right,
really doubt there were any. Yeah.
right. And I think a lot of us maybe are the same, especially those of us who are more in tune with using assistive technology and things like that. Because I personally don't care either if I'm wearing my Iris Vision to go to the movie theater, for example. I hated going to the movie theater before because I couldn't see the movie, no matter how close I sat. Sure, I could see it, but still, like
Mhm.
It's not the same. With
Mm,
Iris Vision at the movie theater, it's such a whole different experience. It's a whole nother world going to the movie theater now. And I absolutely cannot go without it. So people have said, aren't you afraid that, you're going to be asked to leave and I'm like, no, I'm not afraid of that at all because, for pirating the movies or whatever.
right.
But that's the point. Like they're my glasses. Basically, those are my glasses. That's how I see.
Yeah.
So I went to watch, I think the last movie I went to watch was Black Adam. And that was really fun, but it was so much action. And I'm like darting with my eyes everywhere, trying to
Yeah.
catch everything.
Yep.
Stupid blind spot, get out of the way. So
Yeah, so I do have my little movie theater routine. I make sure to if I can, I go during off hours, so I have choice of seating. I used to go to premieres of all of those superhero movies and stuff. Don't do that, unless there's a lot of theaters have assigned seating now where you can actually like book your seats, which is really nice. And then I make sure to check in at the front, and they 100% of the time they don't care, right? You might even say, hey, can I speak to the manager real quick? And they get all nervous, and the manager comes out and I say, hey, I'm visually impaired, here's my cane, I have these glasses. And they're like, oh yeah, whatever, go. And cool, done. And then I don't have that nervousness of like, are they going to pull me out in the middle of the theater because they think I'm recording or something weird? So yeah, that's my little routine. I'll also turn the voice prompts off because that's awkward.
oh yeah.
Yeah, learned that a long time ago.
Theater,
Yeah.
turn off the voice prompts.
Yeah,
Get there early enough to set yourself up, turn off the voice prompts.
exactly.
So
Yep,
Um,
let me
exactly.
ask, do you guys do the audio description headset in the theater as well?
I did that one
I don't.
time. Yeah, one time way back in high school because I went to the school for the deaf and blind here in Arizona. And we used to go to the Braille Olympics every year in California. Sam, I don't know if you're familiar with that,
Mm,
but it was called the Braille Olympics. And it wasn't Braille. A lot of people think, oh, so you were like writing Braille really fast?
Yeah,
No,
type.
no, it's track and field events, basically. So we'd go out for that, and then we'd always do the fun stuff like Magic Mountain, Universal Studios, that type of thing. So one of the times we went to the Warner Brothers studio, we watched the movie Twister about tornadoes,
Yup.
oh
and I
yeah.
remember having the
Classic.
audio description for that, which was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Do you
So
do the audio description, Sam?
Yeah, I do it every time. I'm surprised that you guys don't. Because I was going to ask you how your experience was with those because um early on, like a couple years ago, I would well, first of all, the it seems like the people selling the tickets and stuff, the kids, usually kids selling the tickets, they never know exactly what's going on with the audio descriptive headsets or the hearing impairment headsets. But my experience has gotten better several times. A couple times they gave me the wrong headset, and then like I'd missed the first like half hour of the movie going back and forth trying to get the right headset. But it's been good so far, or good recently. I just went to a movie like 3 weeks ago and used them, and they're fantastic. I love using the audio description.
oh, very
I
cool. I'll have
learned
to,
something new today. I
Yeah,
yeah.
didn't
and
know that they were a thing,
all
actually.
theaters have them, so you just have to ask when you get your ticket. Just ask for just like I said, make sure, because they have one for hearing impairment that amplifies the audio, and then they have the audio descriptive headset. Sometimes it's the same headset, it's just a setting on there, but you just want to make sure you ask for the correct one.
Oh,
Awesome.
cool.
Very cool. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
very cool.
coach tip right there.
And
Very
you could
cool.
wear it with your Iris Vision,
Oh, there you
Just all
go. Even
geared up.
better.
and it fills in all the action. It says Black Adam punches the wasp in the face. The wasp flies over the table. Black Adam jumps on the wasp and starts pummeling him. I don't know if that's
Yes.
really what
And
happened.
then what
But
happened? No, keep going.
Michael's like, hey, great movie.
And then what?
yeah.
So yeah, Iris Vision definitely comes in handy. Um, and I want to bring this up. It's kind of a weird spot to bring it up, but we're running out of time and I really want to talk about this. We were talking about tattoos earlier, right? And I think Iris Vision would be a really cool thing to use if you decide to go to the tattoo parlor so that you can look at all the different tattoos. And don't end up with, I don't know, a gesture skull or something.
Oh no.
Hey. Not funny, Myrna.
No, that sounds really cool though. So
No, it's not. It's not at all.
no, okay, well, there you go.
It's funny. I thought you were gonna say so you could watch them like super detail, watch them doing the tattoo on you.
Oh,
You could see the needle going in and out, which that's
That's where I
totally what
thought
I
you
would
were
do
going
with
too.
the IrisVision.
I mean,
I
that
thought you were
depends
going
on
with
where
that.
you're getting your tattoo, though, I
Yeah.
suppose. If you have visibility to it, then yeah, that'd be a cool thing. I think it would be a cool thing to watch, but I'm
Yeah,
weird,
me
so
too.
I don't know. But it's interesting, on one of the Starguard support group channel or groups in Facebook, this girl got a tattoo of her actual eye. Like, how they do the imaging of your eye.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She got a tattoo of her actual eye to represent her Stargardt's disease. I don't
I think
remember,
that's
but I thought that was really interesting, pretty cool.
so.
Easy to-
On a similar note, I went to a recent art exhibit, and all the artists had some sort of a disability impairment, or had gone through the surgery, they lost limbs or whatever, and but they were artists, and one of them was a lady from India who had I forget the actual condition, but she had some issues with her spine, curvature in her spine, and she went through multiple spinal surgeries, and she took her x-rays of her spine and sort of made like topographical maps out of them in different colors and using sort of like Indian tapestry patterns. And it was
wow.
really, really, really cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I like that idea. I've come around on that idea of using your imaging and kind of making something out of it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
It's a little more personal that way, I suppose.
Big time. Yeah.
It kind of represents you and your current situation and what you're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's like taking ownership of it,
Yep.
not and
Exactly.
not seeing it as a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Boom. That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, one other thing that I was really wanting to talk to you about, Sam, I saw your episode of Working Blind. Very interesting. Cake decorating, huh? Cake decorating?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a lot of people. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I so it's after I worked in restaurants all going through like my 20s and stuff, which was a lot of fun. I had a blast working in restaurants. It's a fun place to work, especially in your 20s. You can get up to a lot of trouble though doing that, so be careful. But I after that though, after my vision continued to get worse and it wasn't feasible anymore, I was bored and I needed something to do, something creative. I always wanted to do something creative, and so I always loved when I was in the restaurants. I always loved the dessert, making desserts and all of that. And so yeah, I took the cake decorating class at a local Michael's 1 month, and whenever you do that, you have to sign a form, and part of that says, you check a box if you'd ever be interested in teaching a class someday. And I said, sure, why not? What the heck? But then sure enough, they called me and asked if I wanted to. And so I got certified. You have to do some extra stuff to become certified. And so I became a Wilton certified cake decorating instructor. And I started teaching the class at a Michael's and a Hobby Lobby, and did and then started my own little cake decorating business and did that for about 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
It was fun.
That's
It was
so
fun. If you've ever
cool.
seen Ace of Cakes, that show back in the early 2000s, it was like that. So I was making, I really enjoyed making the 3D cakes. I made a Millennium Falcon cake once. I made a guitar cake. My favorite though was probably I made an actual toilet out of cake,
Nice.
and it even had the bowl full of water, and it was all made out of cake. It was sitting on top of like a tile floor, little base, and it looked like a toilet, like legit looked like a toilet. It was fantastic.
What is the occasion that calls for a toilet cake?
Somebody's birthday. I don't know.
Perfect.
And
That's what I
they
was
wanted to
hoping.
put they wanted to put stuff in the ball. I built it so that they could put something in the ball. Like I put a little plastic, I lined the ball with plastic so that if they wanted to put liquid in there, like lemonade or something like that, they could put that in there, or whatever else they wanted to. I don't know. I didn't see it after they took it, what happened to it, but yeah, it was pretty cool. It was my favorite.
Maybe they wanted to put like mini Twix in there.
That's what I'm, yeah, like, yeah, melted
Upper
Tootsie
Decker.
Rolls. Leave that to them. That's up to them.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Leave it to the client's discretion. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out today on the Coach's Corner. It was such a fun episode. Hopefully all of you out there enjoyed it as well. If you have any questions for any of us, me, Sam, or Maico, please put them at the bottom. Someone will definitely respond to you as soon as possible. Sam, thank you so much. Maico, thank you so much. And
You're
hopefully
welcome.
we can do this again sometime in the future.
I'll see you guys next week.
See it. Make sure you like the video, share, and be nice to your, whatever blind people you know.
Yeah.
Be nice to everybody. How about that?
There you go. Thanks to everybody.
Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.